Early this morning, Bitcoin broke a key level of resistance, leading us to a major question for the top cryptocurrency. Are we about to experience a major breakout, or is this potentially a bull trap in waiting? We're going to discuss all of that and a whole lot more. We've had a lot of interesting details come out over the last couple of days. We're going to break that down. We're going to look at the charts and talk about what you could expect next for Bitcoin. Don't go anywhere. Smash the like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss anything from our channel. But first, we got to roll our intro. Quick word from our sponsor before we get going. CoinW and LuxAugo. Go check them out in the links down below. If you're looking for a place to trade and get all of the great deals going on, CoinW is the place for you. Get up to $100 for free just for signing up. But also, if you're looking for the right ways to trade those levels, and I'll show you some of the tools here in the video, check out LuxAugo as well and use our code for 20% off. Shout out to both of our sponsors for this video. Let's get into the details here and just quickly take a look at what Bitcoin's chart is doing. And then we're going to talk about the news and then get back into it here in a second. But as I said, a key level of resistance was broken early this morning, or maybe you might say late last night, depending on where you were. But we had been in a falling channel now ever since back here around August 8th. And now, for the first time, we've broken above that key level of resistance. What's even more so is if you take a look at the volume, we saw increased volume on that move to the upside, which oftentimes does communicate a bullish breakout. Before we go deeper on the charts and take a look at what could happen next, let's just kind of reflect on what we've been dealing with over the last couple of days. First of all, we did get a lot of confirmation that we will probably see a rate cut of some kind from the Fed and Jerome Powell in September. But the real question is, how great of a rate cut? If it's only 25 basis points, this could be majorly bullish for Bitcoin, crypto, and even the stock market. But if there seems to be fear that entices the rate cut, maybe because the unemployment numbers have come out here more recently as being a little bit, when I say a little bit, I mean a lot bit higher than what people actually thought, fear could actually spark some form of a crash, even if we start to cut rates. Because if the unemployment rate does skyrocket, and it does turn out to be way worse than people anticipated, that would spark, again, the major recession fears we've been dealing with now for a little over a month. But some other things came out here. Again, that was Goldman Sachs saying the job numbers are going to be higher. But also there's rumors that China's economy might be about to collapse in a very similar fashion to what we saw with Japan not that long ago. So we have a lot of concern, a lot of chaos coming in. And that also gets sparked off with Kamala Harris recently announcing that she would make Gary Gensler Secretary of Treasury if elected president. So many reasons to potentially be bearish right now. And yet Bitcoin price is moving to the upside. It's not that uncommon to get a day full of bearish news like we had yesterday, and then prices go to the upside. Let's check out, let's be positive here and discuss what could happen over the next little bit if we do see a major breakout come into play. Let's check out what the charts are saying. I'm going to be on the hourly chart to start off this morning, and I'm going to show you some things that I'm watching that could get very interesting. The first thing is we do have a major bullish breaker block and a rising smart trail kind of coming up here to meet us around $60,000. You'd even see that kind of matches on liquidations charts on the 12-hour. You can see a bright level of liquidity sitting right there beneath $60,000. What does that mean? Well, this means it's an easy target for traders to potentially bring price back down to $60K, maybe a little bit below, and then make the key decision point. Do we want to continue to the downside, or is that the support level we need to make a much larger breakout to the upside? Even though we see the increased volume as we made it up to resistance, what we're looking at now for a bullish breakout would be increased volume on a move above 61, heading towards 62 or even higher. You'll see if we go back to liquidity charts and we were to go out to, let's just say, out to the monthly chart, let's take a look at some targets that we could expect if the bulls do start to make a rally. The first level you're going to keep an eye on is back at $63,000, the high that we had pretty much back here earlier on August 9th. But after that, the next levels of intrigue kind of come in here around 67,000 and then 70,000 and then 73,000. And that's when we start to see a lot of the liquidity kind of end. We kind of have to redecide what we do after that. But at this point, with this small pullback right here, potentially in the cards, but the larger time frames showing us breakout on the horizon, I thought we were to come down and touch potentially 56 first, but it turns out the markets looked ready for a breakout right now. If we can keep making a move, we have a take profit signal even on the 4-hour chart coming in at 63,400. But that's what our indicators are saying from Lux Algo. Let's check out what we're seeing from an oscillator perspective, heading back down towards the hourly chart. You are seeing some bearish moves on this hourly chart ready to retrace. What am I discussing right now? Well, you saw the red reversal, the green momentum. If we zoom in here, our money flow, while it's not negative yet, it's definitely lost steam since this rise, and we could be about to see negative money flow, confirming a small sell order for Bitcoin. Once again, this might only bring us down back to the smart trail just below $60,000, but it is something kind of confirming that this move on the hourly chart does need to take a rest and potentially find some support. When we move up to larger time frames like the 4-hour, you're still seeing a potential sign of reversal. But let's move into some larger time frames like the 12-hour. This is where things start to get a little more bullish. Yes, we see a nice wick above that candle, but take a look at our oscillators. The RSI, after wrestling with the 50 line for weeks now, or for weeks now, or at least a week, looks like it's actually now starting to break bullish above. The MACD still has a lot of room to grow. And then you have our deal over here with Lux Algo indicator. We had a buy signal perfectly back here on August 5th, and it looks like the momentum is picking back up with a lot of room to the upside before we see any type of reversal. Even if we turn on our Lux Algo indicators, those would suggest a big breakout coming up here, at least back towards 63.4. That kind of same confluence is what we saw on the 4-hour chart. Resistance at the top end, 65.2. That is going to make things very, very interesting. So right now, while there's a small pullback more than likely on the table, the larger time frames, 4-hour and 12-hour, kind of suggesting a move up above 63, potentially pushing closer towards 65. That being said, I want to make sure people still understand, though, there are still levels below us that are very interesting. As I mentioned on the 4-hour chart, I thought that we would kind of revisit 56 before breaking this level. Is this potentially a bear trap opportunity that we're simply going to come back down and break back towards 56,000? One of the things that we have to keep an eye on, as I mentioned earlier, is the volume. Yes, we had volume confirm a move up to resistance, but we have not had increased volume kind of confirm the bulls are ready to go to the next level. You see the hourly chart is in take profit, and if we lose this smart trail on the hourly chart, that is going to be the needle that broke the camel's back for the bulls' hopes right here. Maybe there's a lot of bullish hope this morning, but if this level around 59.6 is lost, I do believe Bitcoin probably is back down, probably more than likely still coming back down towards 56K. So let's watch how that level definitely happens. If you take a look at our high block liquidations, you still see, even though we like the yellow above us, you still see some interesting liquidity even back down towards 54. And there's some on the table still back down towards those $49,000 levels. So we are not necessarily out of the woods. Volume is going to be key. Support here around 59 is going to be very key. 59.9, give or take, is going to be very, very key. If those things happen, we could have a very, very bullish next couple of days. If they do not, though, look for 56, 54, and then we'll have to decide even more so after we hear more from Jerome Powell at Jackson Hole this week. He is speaking on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have a little bit more confirmation about what the next move should look like. But that's what you need to know for now. Bitcoin is sitting in a very good spot, but there's key levels to watch to know if we are going to rally or if this was a fake out to the upside. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our content here. Come back for our 3 p.m. live show where we might be able to give a little more insight on what is happening in this coin and everything else around the crypto space. With that being said, that's all I have for you in this video. See you in the next one. Adios.